Coming up shortly, the boys high school 4x400m championship, and one of the rising young stars, Obie Moore, out of California. He's not only looking forward to doing well here, but also in Atlanta coming up in June.
This is how Michael Johnson, the world champion at 400 meters, gets to work. And this is how Obie Moore, one of Johnson's likely opponents at this June's Olympic trials, travels to track meets on a school bus.
These those Olympic hopefuls right here. You know, Michael Johnson wear those. That's right.
On your mark.
The 17-year-old Moore is bidding to make the U.S. Olympic team in men's track and field as a high school junior. If nothing else, Moore may be the next great American runner in the 400.
Really the best ever. It's really like I don't run fast. It's like I'm cruising. And like when you see me run, it doesn't look like I'm running fast, but I always end up with the fastest times.
Obie, whose name means lots of heart in an African dialect, earned the right to compete at the Olympic trials when he ran a 45.14 in winning the Pan American Games junior 400-meter title last September. For 3 years, Obie has dominated high school track, setting national age group records every step of the way. Even as a 2-year-old, Obie set an unofficial mark of sorts.
I don't remember where we were going, but we was on the train. And my mom said we're going to have to rush to the train. She said, you're going to have to run.
He just took off. And he was really running. I mean, seriously running. His little short legs was flying. It was hard for me to keep up with him. At that point, I said, this kid can run.
Still, there are experienced hands in the track world who find it hard to believe that a high school junior will be able to survive 4 rounds at the Olympic trials in one of America's strongest events.
You may have to run your personal best 4 times in a row. And do you have that much cushion in your fitness level? Are you mature enough to handle that? A lot of times, physically, they may be able to, but mentally, can you get up and up?
But for now, Obie is the pride of Pasadena's John Muir High, which boasts Jackie Robinson and college basketball star Jacques Vaughn among its alumni. In class, even his history teacher sports an Obie Moore t-shirt.
I know a lot of the kids love to be a part of this. This is history, not only for Muir, but it's history for his family. It's history for all of us.
At home, Obie spends his precious free time reading the Bible, but thoughts of racing the likes of Michael Johnson at the trials are never far away.
I'm not scared. For me to run with them, I must be a star too. So it's just going to be a race full of stars. And I guess the highest star will win.
Brave talk for a teenager who still doesn't have his driver's license.
I'm still a kid, you know, going into manhood. But hopefully I'll be there soon.
How soon? At the Olympic trials in Atlanta, it may take Obie Moore only 44 seconds to become a man.
So coming up next, Obie Moore and the boys high school 4x400m relay championship.
Hey, if you take your Pontiac Sunfire to China, they probably won't let you go tearing around on that big wall they've got, which is too bad, because the sport suspension would really be great on those curves. Or try that one-latch, easy-opening top on your all-new Pontiac Sunfire convertible and go cruising around some ancient pyramids. Because, hey, they're both cool new ways to worship the sun. The Pontiac Sunfire Coupe and the all-new convertible. Finally, a real set of wheels you can really afford.
Be sure to get your shot with a Canon Sure Shot, like the Sure Shot A1, the rugged all-weather sports camera.
One of these hammers is jacketed in high-impact polycarbonate. The other one is broken. The fiberglass jacketed hammer from Stanley.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy, don't you think?
Original and cooling blue.
By Menon.
Once upon a time, 3 girls went to Rock Steady for a pickup game.
Oh, we got next.
Lisa is the center of U.S. women's basketball team. Cheryl's a forward. Dawn is a point guard.
Shoot that, Cheryl. Take the jump, Lisa. We'll take that. Good game. Okay, next. Yeah, Cheryl. That's the next one. I got you. He can't shoot either.
And this isn't a fairy tale, so they didn't beat every guy, but they beat enough to say, basketball is basketball, athletes are athletes.
Great moments from the PGA Tour continue on CBS. The next stop, Forest Oaks Country Club in North Carolina for the Greater Greensboro Chrysler Classic. Next on CBS.
Welcome back to the 1996 Penn Relays. Dwight Stones, Craig Masback, and Gus Johnson bringing you the action. Up now, the boys 4x400-meter relay championship. Hawthorne of California High School, the national record holder at 307.40, and Veer Tech of Jamaica, the meet record. And you will be looking at Obie Moore, the junior from Muir High School in Pasadena, the phenom. Qualified for the Olympic trials, 400 meters, won the Pan American Junior Championships last year in 45.14. But he and his Muir comrades will get plenty of competition in this boys 4x400 relay from any one of a number of Jamaican teams. And we're looking at St. Jago's High School from Jamaica, one of the many schools that journey north to Franklin Field each spring to showcase their talent in front of the Philadelphia crowd. The serene island of Jamaica, home of traditional values, and a land where youngsters dream of a future. A future that many hope will include furthering their education.
They have a very difficult and hard life coming up, and running in the Penn Relays is like their window of opportunity.
A lot of these kids that come here, this is how they get a scholarship. You know, by performing well at the Penn Relays, so the American coach can see the talent that is there. America is a land of opportunity, right? And there are lots of good colleges up here. So each time we go out there to run, we try to run at our best so that coaches all around can know who is Omar Bailey.
A scholarship to an American university is a way Omar Bailey hopes to become a household name like the first great Jamaican runner, Herb McKinley, and follow in the collegiate footsteps of USC's Lennox Miller and Inez Turner of Southwest Texas State. For these Jamaican athletes, the Penn Relays are a true showcase event.
Winning here is like, it's the biggest thing for me, right? You know, we go back home and everyone say that, you know, praise you, you're the champion of America.
The whole island, believe it or not, they're very competitive, each parish. But when they come back with a title from the Penn Relays, all of them celebrate it.
And with a strong performance at the Penn Relays, what better way to celebrate than a childhood dream coming true?
Dwight, you know how important this meet is. There's a weekly Jamaican newspaper in North America called the Weekly Gleaner. They devoted a 12-page insert to the Penn Relays.
What a great opportunity it is for the athletes from that small island to come up here and showcase their athletes and perhaps get scholarships to major universities. But as we now look at the lane assignments for this 4x400 championship, high school boys 4x400 relay, John Muir out of lane 6. St. Jago of Jamaica in lane 2. We expect a lot of the racing to be there, but any one of these Jamaican teams can be in it. Probably the least amount of Jamaican teams in the final here at Penn Relays, as Jamaica high schools have won 10 of the last 11 championships.
And you mentioned St. Jago in lane 2. Omar Bailey, who we saw in that little feature, will be the anchor leg for them. Jamaica College had a faster time in the qualifying rounds this morning. All of these teams had to qualify for this final by running this morning. Muir replaced their second man, their normal second man, Sultan McCullough, because he's been nursing a sore hamstring this morning with his brother, but Sultan is back to run the second leg this afternoon.
Of course, in that kind of situation, you worry about Sultan perhaps pulling the hamstring and never getting the stick to Obie Moore. And they are off.
And Obie Moore has got to be a big story, Dwight, throughout the whole race. What's he going to do? If he gets it ahead, can he run a fast time? If he gets it behind, can he do something spectacular? This is the guy who said he's going to run 43 seconds flat and win the Atlanta Olympics, beating Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson said coolly in response, it's going to take more than 43 seconds to win.
And John Muir out to a very fast start on this first leg to Corey Tryon, a junior from Muir, simply decimating the rest of the athletes in this field. Have to see if he can hold on to hand off the baton to Sultan McCullough, the athlete from Muir who is nursing that sore leg.
Muir has run 3:08.75 this year. This morning they ran 3:13 to qualify for the final. Obviously not going all out, just looking for that qualifying time. 48.2 on the leadoff leg for Tryon.
And Sultan McCullough not sporting any type of a wrap on the leg, so perhaps just a precautionary situation having him not run this morning, but the gap has certainly closed. Muir does not have nearly the lead that they once did. Being closely pursued by Jamaica College and Richard Smith. Sultan McCullough must be nursing a little bit of soreness there, as we now see Glenn Mills of Pennsylvania going into the lead. Oh, and a bad exchange for Glenn Mills High School. Muir retains the lead. Makio Haywood, who's a sub-14-second hurdler, running the third leg for Muir.
And, you know, Muir's been running all sorts of high school relays this year out in California. Lots of experience with some great indoor runs. So that experience definitely helping. And Haywood opening up a gap now.
This is a scene they don't normally see here at the Penn Relays at American High School. Dominating as boys and girls high now gets into second place. An excellent carry by Marlon Baugh, but it's Makio Haywood of Muir who holds on to about a 7 or 8 meter lead as he hands off the baton to Obie Moore.
Well, it's the Obie Moore show. I guess we probably would have liked to see him get it behind so we could really see what he's going to do. But look at this guy run, Dwight. Amazing running down the backstretch, and the crowd appreciates it.
This Penn Relays crowd has been waiting all day for this anchor leg by Obie Moore.
Cool conditions, not ideal for outstanding times, but he's just leaving the high school runners in his wake.
And Obie Moore will win easily for John Muir High School. They don't even run a best time of the year for themselves, but what an impressive run by Obie Moore.
46.02 I had unofficially, obviously on a anchor leg split.
And he's barely breathing. And for only the second time in 12 years, an American high school has won the Penn Relays Boys 4x400 meter Relay Championship of America.
Coach Clyde Turner from Muir dealing with the fact that they've had some injuries. A long season for them as they had a number of great indoor runs as well. But a lot of big days yet to come with the California State Meet and the Olympic trials.
Greg, let's look back at that second leg. Sultan McCullough of Muir being absorbed by the rest of the field.
Well, he didn't run this morning due to an injured hamstring. Hangs on well until the home stretch when the other guys get by him, Dwight. But he makes up for it as he and Makio Haywood, the third man, execute a good handoff. The other teams do not, and they're able to retake the lead just on the handoff.
Haywood runs a great third leg and hands the baton off to Obie Moore.
And Moore out so quickly, doesn't sit on this lead. He goes for it all. And in the home stretch, struggles a little bit, but hangs on for an impressive victory for Muir.
The victorious Muir High School 4x400 relay team. As I said, only the second time in 12 years that an American team has won this race. And are they getting appreciation from this crowd? However, we don't see the Jamaica flags flying.
I give that about an 8 on the woo scale.
Craig, I think the woo needle was in the red on that race. John Muir of California, 3:11.02. St. Jago holds on for second, and Jamaica College up for third. When we return, we'll hear from Obie Moore and his teammates right after this.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
You see this flower?
Yeah.
Well, with the Cub Cadet tractors I sell, you'd never see something like this left standing. Now,
It's a certain kind of person who's a Cub Cadet dealer.
You just lower the front of the mower deck about a quarter of an inch, and you'll suction everything up into this.
Who will help you pick the right equipment, then assemble, deliver, and maintain it.
Talk about the space shuttle, but does it have a direct drive shaft? Honey? Honey?
Coming CBS next Sunday, he is a multimillionaire and his son is a murderer. It was all her fault. Now go behind the gilded gates.
It was an accident. It was murder.
And discover just how money talks.
Crime without consequence. The privilege of the very rich.
And killers walk.
How do you plead?
I am not guilty.
Constant is a star, and he's innocent.
Brian Dennehy heads an all-star cast in the explosive miniseries Dominic Dunn's A Season in Purgatory.
You're on CBS.
At Brian Eastler Toyota in Hendersonville, we hear our competition say they have their best price on every vehicle in stock. Well, you and I both know it takes more than price to make an intelligent decision. Not only will we give you our best price on any new car or truck, but we promise to give you the highest trade-in value. So, give us the opportunity to show you how much your trade-in is really worth and make an intelligent decision like your friends and neighbors have. Buy from Brian Eastler Toyota, Hendersonville.
Beneath your home lies another home, the home of millions of hungry subterranean termites, with hundreds of tunnels stretching thousands of yards. There's nothing termites won't do to ultimately eat you out of house and home. That was until Centricon, the first ever colony elimination system that monitors and baits to get termites where they live. Just call this number and get their home.
Nobody bugs bugs like Terminix.
Jim Kirkpatrick tonight at 6 and 11 on News Channel 7.
And welcome back, standing here with the Muir High School 4x400 boys relay team and their captain, Obie Moore. And Obie, you guys, for the second time in 12 tries, meeting the United States, won this race. How important is it to Muir High School?
Very important, you know, another notch on our belt. We felt real good about the race, but we expected to run faster, but we didn't, so just have to wait till next time.
And when you came down the backstretch, how exhilarating was it to hear the fans here at the Penn Relays getting up, chanting the United States and calling out your name?
Well, the crowd gave me a lot of energy. You know, I appreciate the crowd. You know, that's what we're here for, to represent the crowd in United States, so we appreciate it.
Talking to some of your teammates now, and tell me, what was it like running here at the Penn Relays? It must have been a great experience for you.
Yeah, it was a good experience running against the Jamaicans, you know, and all. And we came down here, the crowd expected us, you know, to do and run a good time. You know, but it was a good experience running against the Jamaicans as we won in, like, what, 15 years, United States. So it was a pretty good, you know, experience for us.
And talk about, young man, how important it was to beat the Jamaicans today.
It was important to me because I'm I came from off of injury just to run. So I try to get everything I got, but I'm saying I just try to win for my team, help my team out.
Well, going back to Obie, and for you coming up in Atlanta during June, the Olympic trials, you're 17 years old, get an opportunity to run against Michael Johnson and some of the best runners in the nation. How do you feel about that as it approaches?
I feel I do well if God's will.